from now, there are a couple of announcements that you, file association. Okay, yes, we only gonna use code block for C programming, mainly because that one can be used both in Windows and Mac OS. And but right now, if there are any there are anyone who cannot access to PC or laptop and have only tablet on hand, I recommend to use the web-based system. It's called, let me check. There are a couple of C compiler, web-based C compiler online. I think it's going to be GCC, yeah, onlinegdb.com. Okay. This one, I already put the link in chat. So just in case you doesn't have anything with you, like doesn't have laptop, doesn't have PC with you, you still be able to do it on your smartphone, which is still like pretty hard to do on smartphone because the screen is too small. On the other hand, you can do it pretty easily in iPad or any tablet. So that's another solution, just in the emergency case. And today the pen doesn't work. Let me see what we can do. So the idea is like, this is the share board that you guys can write something down, okay? Then if you have any question or I asking some question and you want to participate, give an answer, you just draw it right here or type the text over there. Then everyone gonna see what you try to answer or which kind of solution you are talking about. So I heard some feedback that some of you also don't understand why we have to learn the Scratch that we use for the first half of the class. And simply answer is that I don't think you really need to learn the programming languages straight away. Looking for what you already done has achieved in class using Scratch, that's kind of amazing for me. First of all, you guys doesn't have basic in programming languages before. And secondly, you are not the main programming kind of student, like you are not computer engineer or computer science department student. And I think what you have done so far is quite amazing and quite impressive. Now, after you done the whole project, like small project with the Scratch, the next thing that you got from the Scratch is that you got the idea of how programming work and how to set the logic and workflow that program can understand. So basic idea is that even though Scratch is something that look like a toy, more than a real deal, but then what Scratch can done is actually help us to get the idea of computational thinking in the visual way. Okay, so the basic idea right now is that if you have any problem that I given to you, then you can derive it into the step-by-step that can be easily translated into the code of the program. So right now, from now on until the end of the class, I'm gonna try to translate what you have done in Scratch into C languages code. For example, like in Scratch, you have the input module. and the output module, right? So I'm going to open one window of the Scratch, then we can switch and see. Okay, looking back at the Scratch, okay, normally when you're going to say something out, which is output module, you have to put the output module out there, right? And then you connect with any flow of the program. If you want to get input, then you scroll down and do something like set, or you trigger the event, or you have any kind of control like if, else, wait, loop, and return. All of these actually have some code behind it. And we're going to learn it week by week. And starting from next week, I'm going to teach about the control module here. So next week is going to be over about the if-else statement in C programming, loop, like while loop, for loop, any kind of loop in C languages. Then we can do some replication of what we done in Scratch inside C languages. Okay, but then the idea is that C is not like easy understanding or easy to interpret like what Scratch is. So even though Scratch is like, I mean, the good point about Scratch in general is it's easy to understand, right? So it's user friendly. So that's the main idea of the Scratch. But then when you got the logic behind it and you try to translate it into C languages, C programming, the issue is that the syntax, or syntax is mean like how program has to be written, the way we need to make the statement and how we're going to write it one by one. It's not intuitive. It's not like human languages. For example, as I remind, every line of code in C languages, you need to put semicolon there. Okay, that is the thing that you need to put on the back of the line. If not, they will not know that you go to the next line of code or not. Another thing that we have in C programming is blanket. It's going to look like this. And here is going to be your code inside the blanket. Blanket itself is create the scope of the code. The blanket work like what you have in Scratch. So if we go back to the Scratch here, okay. If we go back to Scratch, blanket is something that look like this U-shaped object. So you have the open blanket and the closed blanket to indicate that any code inside gonna be run under some specific condition on top. Okay, so here in Scratch is gonna be if something and then anything inside happens. So in C languages, it's gonna be quite the same way. So you're gonna have something like if dot 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 dot, then something in the middle of the blanket gonna work. So that's why I would like to start the class, the first half of the class, mainly only for learning the Scratch. Then you're gonna understand the basic logic of how those things work. And then we can easily talking about the concept or how to write the C languages code later on. Okay, that's for answer some feedback why we have to learn from the Scratch, not directly jump to the C languages. Okay, is that clear for you guys? You can type your reply in chat as well. I look at the chat right now. Okay. Um, okay, right now, if you have any question so far from the video, you can ask me there. Okay, you can post. Oh, okay. Do we still have the final exam? Yeah, that's is one of the things that I need to make an announcement. Um, and it's going to be the big discussion here. So right now, I cannot guarantee anymore that we're going to have exam or not. If the situation of COVID-19 is dragging out longer than the middle of April, supposedly we not going to have final exam, which is mean we need to find a way to get the score for you guys instead of the exam. Either gonna be one big project, making report, do some online presentation. I don't know. All of them is still open. We're gonna have big meeting among the faculty members next week through Zoom as well. It's going to be online meeting and only talking about this issue about final examination and how we're going to deal with it. So yeah, I'm going to keep update to you guys about the current situation in KMUTT. Um, Hopefully we can do some exam because I'm a little bit afraid that if we because like first of all you are not computer engineer student or computer science student. I didn't want to have like one big C programming project which is take like 40% of your score, you know. That's going to be pretty scary for people who not mainly going to use programming skill in their life in their 4-year study in KUTT that much. I think you're going to use it if you study in chef or biofab program later on in your master, but not really going to be used in your entire course of chemical engineering. So that's why I think like those option is pretty scary for me. That might cause you guys have pretty low grade, and that's not really fair for you guys as well. So I try to avoid that option if possible. But then in the same times, another possibility is maybe we do it like the engineering quiz, like I have like we have this kind of template in software companies that we gonna make some challenge. We tell you guys like what kind of input that we gonna give it to you, which kind of output that we expected. Then you write out a code to create that specific output from the specific input that we're giving to you, and then we evaluate by the code itself, like how good you written it down. So that's going to be another option and not really that scary in comparison to the C programming project. Okay, if not, like you can ask him question both in chat or open your mic later on. But then starting from now, I'm going to talking about format of the class. So we try to do it like on-demand class because I'm not really sure about your internet access. I have the problem with another group of students in another department that some student doesn't have good internet access. So when we put everything like 100% rely on live session, they're gonna have really difficult time to learn and study because their internet is pretty laggy. They didn't hear the sound like nice and clear enough to understand or and follow the lecture. So that's why I decided to split the class to be lecture part that I'm gonna put it online in the YouTube, and I will try to make it as fast as possible and keep pushing it out until the end of semester. I hope, like I'm expect to do all the lecture part and put it online within this month, if possible. And then we're gonna have this kind of Q&A session and hands-on live session, which is I try to record it as well and gonna put it in YouTube. So people who have issue about internet connection can look at it after a live session, but then you're gonna miss the opportunity to asking the question. So yeah, anyway, like just tell me anyway if you want to, involve with the Q&A, but then you have internet problems or whatsoever. Just try to I want to know, I don't want to leave any student behind because of those kind of like technical limitation, because I understand that as when I was a student, I didn't have good internet access in my dormitory as well. So that's going to be pretty kind of frustrating if we put everything to the live session, okay? So lecture gonna be provided online, and you can repeat it, study it as much as you want. And then starting from next week, I'm gonna have online assignment. And again, it's like gonna be easy thing that kind of work on top of hand-ons that we do in a live session, okay? For example, like next week, after we learn about if else and loop, then we're gonna repeat what we do in Scratch again, but now in C languages, and interact with the terminal. Okay. So that's gonna be this kind of format, which is called, it's actually called blend classroom, that most of material you can study on demand through YouTube or any online website that we provide video on there. But then we're gonna also have like discussion session, live Q&A session. And then later on, if we really need to do the project, then we're gonna have discussion session for each group separately as well. But let's hope that it's not gonna happen, because it's gonna be too much work for you guys in my opinion. But then we need to see the possibilities after the faculty meeting. Okay. So is there any feedback that you want to give it to me, or our team in general? Like, do you have any problem to contact us, or given the questions, asking question, or you want to give the suggestion about, like your suggestion about the rubric and scoring or project, or any ideas to do something rather than final exam if we have to do it? I mean, if we have to cancel the final exam. Okay, there one thing from Hian Shi. I'm not really sure how to spell your name. But then you say like there are some error called file association noticement. What do you mean about that? Like when you install code block, or when you try to build and run, or like please give me more information, then I can answer your question. Which apps? Could you say code block or in Zoom, or okay, code block? Are you using Windows or hello? I open your mic right now so you can talk.
ครับใช้ Windows ครับผม
อ๋อฮะ
คือ
แล้วเกิดขึ้นตอนไหนครับ ตอน build run หรือว่าตอน
คือโหลดแอปมาเสร็จแล้วครับแล้วพอเปิดขึ้นมามันก็ขึ้นมาว่า File Association แล้วมันก็มี
แชร์หน้าจอตอนนี้ได้ไหม
ครับมันเมื่อกี้ผมกดแล้วมันหายไปไหนไม่รู้
อ๋อเหรอครับ
ครับผมเหมือนมันแค่แบบว่าให้เซฟเป็นแบบ C++ หรือว่า ไม่ต้องเซฟแบบนั้นหรืออะไรแบบเนี้ย
อ๋อโอเคโอเคอันนั้นให้เลือกเป็น C ครับคือถ้า
อ๋อ
ตามในวิดีโอเลยคืออาจารย์จะใช้เป็น standard C ถ้าเราเซฟเป็น C++ เนี่ยจะมันจะทำให้บางทีเราใช้ syntax ไม่เหมือนกันแต่ยังได้ output เหมือนเดิมได้
อ๋อคือมันมีให้กด4 อันแล้วที่เป็น no no แล้วก็ yes yes ใช่ไหมครับที่มี4 ช้อยให้กดเลือก
แชร์จอออกมาได้ไหมครับ
เดี๋ยว
จะได้
คือมันหายไปแล้วไอ้หน้าต่างอันนั้นนะครับ
Okay, like from your friend's question, actually, like he raising one good point that I'm missing to notify that. Okay, please save the file in C format, not C++. Okay, so I want to make sure that everything understand this rule because code block can do both C and C++. And if you save it in C++, then sometimes it's going to use different syntax and formatting with C languages. So you cannot repeat what I'm written down as an example in the slide. And maybe sometimes it's going to have problem when you run it. So try to strict with C languages if possible. Okay.
มันไม่ขึ้นแล้วครับอาจารย์ไอ้อันนั้น
อ่ะเหรอครับแล้ว
ค
เรา
รับผม
บิวรันได้ปกติไหมครับ
ครับผมบิวรันได้ปกติครับ
แล้ว create project เป็น C เนาะแล้วบิวรันได้ปกติโอเคงั้นก็ไม่น่ามีปัญหาอะไรครับ
โอเคครับผมขอบคุณครับ
Oh yeah, for class participation right now, we didn't make any decision yet. It's really difficult for me as well. I didn't want to cut it down, but then they have one official letters from Ministry of Higher Education. I forgot the full name of it, but then they say like in this situation, we have to neglect the participation score because in case that some student cannot join the live session or which maybe their family issue or they got sick or they in the place that cannot access to internet is not because of their fault, it's because of this kind of emergency issue. So to avoid those kind of unfair situation that might accidentally happens, they're asking us to neglect or the class participation score. Right now, I put it back to the mini project, but maybe we can making negotiation about that. So, okay, then I will discuss that with the faculty member as well. Put it on note. Okay, but then the flow of the class is after you learn the syntax of C languages, then next step that we trying to achieve is that teach you the concept of modular programming. Okay. So if you look at the lecture, you see kind of animation to show a concept of modular programming is similar to Scratch. You create the block of function in the Scratch, and then you can repeat using it many times. The same block of code, but then if you input different input, then it can provide different kind of output, but using the same process. So those modular programming concepts help help software development a lot in the past, like 40, 50 years, because we can reuse our code and it's going to shorten the development time if we planning well enough. So that's going to be the end of, that's going to be the ultimate goal for this course, that you understand those kind of concepts. But then what I'm going to add it on top, and it's going to be something that not really put it to the full front in many textbooks, but I think it's going to be important for all of you, is debugging. Okay. For me, the main reason is because debugging is going to be something that you need to use when you do that certification examination. I don't know how to call it in English. It's like get the official certificate for engineer. It's called GOWO in Thai. So in those exams nowadays, you need to debugging code. They will provide you a line of code, like one chunk of code, and asking you that if you run it, it's going to work or not, or provide the line of code with error and asking you to fix it. So that is the concept of debugging, to see the error of the code, why it has error, which time it's having error, and how to fix it. So I'm going to try to add it in as another concept separately from the main like module of the course. And then you can, I don't know, maybe you can keep this lecture in mind. So when the times come and you need to do the certification examination, then you can, you know, bring it back and study it again to remind the concept of debugging. That's our plan. So, okay, if there is no more question, then please stay in touch, stay safe, do the social distance, and following any rules that coming out for protecting yourself from COVID-19. Okay, yourself and your family. Basically, starting from next class, this live session, you need to come on time if you want to be able to follow the hands-on. Okay. Because after the first 10 minutes that we're going to do the Q&A, which is, again, please posing your question. If you have it beforehand, then we can pick it up and do the Q&A. Explain me a bit more about this project. Let me see first, like what is that picture? Oh, okay. That's my group research. Okay, thank you to talking about this. Okay, thank you for asking about that. Actually, like my main research, as I mentioned before, even though my background is computer engineer, but then I'm more like psychologist right now and study about how human make decision. So in this project, what you're gonna do is not gonna be 7th of April anymore. It's have to be postponed until the situation of COVID-19 is getting better. So don't have to be worried. Like whenever situation getting better, then we can start experiment. We gonna contact you back. So this experiment, we want to study how information change your evaluation in general. Like for example, if I tell you that maybe this microphone or this mouse, for example, like this mouse has extremely good review, then how it's going to change your perception with the mouse itself. So what you have to do is we're going to have some kind of computer games. It's like computer questionnaire kind of. But when you do that, we're going to tracking your eye movement in the same time with infrared cameras. So it's not going to be hurting your eyes. It's not going to be harmful at all because this project's already passed the ethics committees and we doesn't have any risk for a health condition. What you do is you sit in front of computers, do some interaction with it, but you need to place your head on the shin rest, like when you met the optical doctor to making eyeglasses. So the shin rest is gonna stabilize your head by putting your shin, stabilize your shin and stabilize your forehead to a position only. And after 1 hour, it's gonna be finished. So you're gonna answer a couple of questions. And yeah, if you participate in this experiment, we can provide you small compensation around 200 baht per session. So if you join it and you finish it, then you're gonna get that money back. yeah, that's kind of simple. And after we finish the whole experiment and summarize the data, maybe a little bit before we do the publication, if we have good quality of data, then if you want to, we can provide the data back to you as well to let you know like what we found out in how you're making decision making. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for your question about this. So it's going to be like, simply speaking, it's going to be computer-based experiment, nothing hurting your body, just using some joystick to answer the question and have to stabilize your head for around maximally 1 hour. It's going to be shorter than that. But how to say, like, depends on how fast you're making decision for each question. And in general, it's going to take maximally 1 hour, and you're going to get 200 baht as a compensation. Just that. And this experiment also open for every one of your friends, not just in KMUTT. If their house is live close by KMUTT, they can participate and join as well. Unfortunately, we cannot pay more than 200 baht. So yeah, you have to making a trade-off. If your house is far away from KMUTT, or your traveling cost is going to cost too much and it's not really like kind of good amount of money for you, then it's going to be fine if you're not participating. It's just volunteer. Okay, that's my research with my research group here. It's called NX, the neuroscience center that we try to establish in KMUTT. Next week, please don't come in this live session late, okay? Because I'm gonna start the hands-on within the first, like after the first 10 minutes. I'm gonna wait for 10 minutes and then we can start the hands-on, which is I'm gonna come up with a couple of problems and we gonna do the coding together. Then you can open the microphone and we're gonna have this whiteboard on most of the times. So you can take a look and check like how things work. ถ้าไปลองทำแล้วได้ผลตรวจอะไรกลับมาแล้วครับอาจารย์ No, we didn't diagnose anything. We just try to understand how our brain work and how and why human is easily being manipulated by some information. That's what we study. So basically, like how information manipulate your eye movement, how the information change the pupil size, like pupil dilation, how your eyes going bigger or shrinking smaller by the excitement or any kind of emotional response to the information itself. So it's more like basic knowledge about how the brain works, not really related to any kind of disease or I don't know, like brain disorder, not anything like that. Okay, then if there's no more question, see you again next week. We're gonna upload the video as soon as we record it and die cut off this. Thank you so much for today, and keep in mind about that I'm gonna keep updated to you through the Facebook groups. So stay active on it. If possible, you can post the question anytime that you want in the Q&A's post. Then I will pick it up and talking about it in next live session. Okay. Thank you so much for today. Bye-bye.